Welcome back. Today we're going to do the salt and pepper as I promised on the last video. There you go. See that? There you go. But before we do, I thought I would show you, I spoke about the kits that we did, but I didn't show you what it actually looked like. So this was the little kit for the, for the colander, which we did in the previous video. And this is what we handed out for the salt and pepper. And this one will be the next video, and that is for the coffee mill. We made up these kits, and I'll when we do the coffee mill, I'll show you, or I'll tell you why we did the coffee mill. Okay, so let's get on and have some fun. All right, so if you were a club member, you got a certain number of pieces for your salt and pepper, and that consisted of, let's pull these apart here, 2 of these little guys. This is not two of those, 1 fancy one. Of course, that's your choice. Instead of this one, you could also do this fancy one that I found. But this one is just a very plain one, and these are really good quality beads. Okay, so here's another piece, just fold it onto itself. If you have double stick tape, that's good too, but why waste that? And it does not have to be painter's tape. The regular tape is perfect, or Scotch tape as well. You know, put that one on there like this, okay, and make sure it's nice loose and that it's down nicely. I also brought in the all favorite thumbtack, and that's going to go right there for 1. I'm going to put 2 of these together. That's going to be for 1. If you want to do them both at the same time, then you're going to need another one to put here like that. I'm probably just going to work on 1, so I'll take that one aside. The next thing that you're going to need, which was not in the original plan, is a little bit of this is from a Q-tip. So I've cut down a little bit of Q-tip. Because it has a hole. And that's going to go in there, like so. Then you're going to start putting your beads together for a dry run. So you'll get the bottom bead, and of course, you know, you might have your own stash of beads that you prefer to use. There's that one, and then I put in the fancy one like that, and then another of the round ones. Right, so you now have it all set or ready to go. As you see here, this is also an addition, and it is a little sequin. Now we all have sequins in our stash. If the beads aren't all nice and even in the bottom, they won't want to stand up straight. So we're going to use this little sequin as a base to help it stabilize. All right, so now that we've done a dry run, we're going to put some glue on the beads. But we're not going to actually put the glue on the beads. We're going to take these all out. I'm going to put the glue on the Q-tip bit. Get a little bit on the toothpick. Now it just dries fast, which is the good thing about the glue. And we're going to just dab it on this. Going to feed one through, feed the other through. There's a little bit of resistance, but that's okay, because that just means that the glue is doing its job. And another one on the top. Oh, there you go. Well, maybe if I present it with the hole, it will help. There you go. So now that we're going to prepare of a handle bit. Now this one was done in a different way than I'm going to show you now, because I was not really that terribly happy with that. It does go around and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, now I know that we handed out head pins, but in the meantime what I found was that these head pins actually do not do a nice round. Like we're going to do this so that you have a handle, but this is way too thick. Okay, so before we bend it, we're going to feed, before we bend the little sewing pin, we're going to feed through one of these little black beads. Now some of them are tighter than others, so you look for one that is not, that can actually go, because you know these beads, they're not all the same weight. So you feed it through. Now once that's done, you're going to bend this over. That's your handle. That's there right now. And then you're going to take another bead, and going to feed it through. Feed it through like so. So now you have a little handle thing and the bead that's going to make this little top. This one is white, showing white here, or black here. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's see. Okay, so now if you notice, when you do that, your pin is way longer than the body of your pepper grinder. So we're going to need to measure it out. For that, put this, bend it down like that, and you're going to fit it like that so that it fits on each other. But before we do that, you will need, because you should all have your tools, right? You need a blade. Oh my gosh, this one's well loved. And you're going to cut off the excess plastic, so it's not nice and flat. And now you can measure out what you need for the handle. And this is going to give you extra sturdiness. So you see that you don't need it. It does not need to go all the way down. I'm going to put it in the front here. It's going to be like that. Okay, so you're going to measure it out. Take a sharp pair of cutting pliers, and as you've seen me do before, because this is going to go flying, you put it down and snap. And here it is. Now you take your other piece, your other bead, like that, and it's going to be ready to, it's going to go in there. And now you have a nice little unit. But you're going to need to glue this down. And to do that, get some of your glue again. And there you go. And it's going to go in there. Doesn't take much to glue this together. And you're going to, you know what you can also do, is you just stick this right in there like that, and in it goes. You're going to have a tiny little bit of glue residue, but you can cut it out. Now as far as the bottom is concerned, if you feel it's not going to stand, this one, let's see, well, there you go, doesn't want to stand. So let's take the base, a little bit of glue on the sequin, and glue the base onto it. And there you are. There it is. Nice and easy. You can play with different beads. different heights. This one measures a total of about almost 1.5 centimeters, 2 centimeters, and in inches we're talking about 3/4 of an inch. So it's a nice size, but you can make them bigger or smaller. Now if your handle, if this little bit doesn't want to stay put, again, and you take a tiny bit of it, dab it onto the head of the sewing pin, and then push it together. There. Now it's not going to go anywhere. Now this could be your pepper, because it's black. You can have them both black, or you can have a white handle with a little white bead instead for your salt. That, or you just paint it with the good old there it is, nail polish. Paint it up. This particular one, this handle here, I bent it in 2 ways, that way and that way. That's cute too. So lots of things. Oh, and here's a little hint. This one was done with a sewing pin, straight pin, right? That had a, let's see here, it had a tiny little black ball on it, so you don't have to feed the little black bead. So this one is just done with the pin that's already has the little bead. So that is the salt and pepper. And here's another kind we started with, another kind. Add some photos of the ones that I did as samples using the fancy bead. You may not prefer that, and you know, I think that the straight bead is good. And these little bead, this one little bead here in the center, by the way, can be one straight bead or a combination of a whole bunch of these beads. Just putting them together. Let's put some together here. So, oh, wait a minute. Here, just give you a few other choices. Put a big one in the center here. There, like that. That'll give you a little stockier version of a little grinder. And you can add your beads onto it the same way. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm going to get ready to do the next video to show you how we're going to do this little guy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell so you can have notification of upcoming videos. Until then, be safe.